Hello and welcome to Health Talk. I'm Laura Ingle in for Dr. Manny. Cataracts. It's one of the most common eye conditions we develop as we age. In fact, more than half of Americans age 65 and older have it. But a new survey shows many adults don't have a full understanding of what it is and how to treat them. So joining me now to talk about it is Dr. Edward Holland, an ophthalmologist and director of cornea services at Cincinnati Eye Institute, and former Charlie's Angels actress Cheryl Ladd. You recognize her, right? Her husband and brother both had cataracts, and they have teamed up with Alcon for a national campaign to help raise awareness. So thank you both so much for being here to talk about this really important issue. I know it's important to you. Dr. Holland, I want to start with you first. What are cataracts exactly, and how do they develop? A lot of people may not have a good understanding of this.
And that's a survey you mentioned shows that people don't really have a great understanding of cataracts. So we're young, our lens in our eye that is right behind the iris or the color part of the eye is clear, and it lets light in and it focuses light. As we age, that lens becomes cloudy, gradually cloudy, and it's associated with age. And so at some point, it's starting to reduce the amount of light in the eye. The patients get blurred vision, can get double vision, can get halos and glare around lights, and it starts to affect their quality of life. So a cloudy lens is a cataract.
Okay, and Cheryl, you've had some family history with this.
I have. It was an interesting moment for me because I take good care of my health. I stay up on all the latest this and that. And when my husband was having sight problems, I insisted he go get them taken care of and see a doctor. And we walked in and the doctor said, "You have cataracts and you're going to need eye surgery." I was like, wait.
It's terrifying, right?
It was. I had no... Why he has to have surgery? This doesn't make any sense to me because I didn't know anything about it. This is one of the reasons I'm here, because it was such an education, and I was so uninformed, as so many people are, about what cataracts are and what your treatment options are and what happens. I will just tell you that my husband had the surgery, quick recovery, and he literally said to me, "I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I could kick my own butt," he said.
Dr. Holland, what are some of the signs and the symptoms? I mean, people really need to pay close attention to their health always,
right.
But it might just be like, I'm just getting older, so my vision's going to get worse, right?
Right, and as Cheryl was pointing out, I mean, Cheryl and her husband, bright people, take care of their bodies, they're very healthy, yet her husband's allowing his vision to fail, just thinking that's natural. And I think a lot of the elderly patients think part of the aging process is loss of vision, and it doesn't have to be that way. So the most common reason why a patient would come to me is actually problems with night driving. You know, we're a very mobile society. Our patients are very different now than they were 15, 20 years ago, and people want to stay active. And they start losing the confidence to drive at night. So that's the first thing. And then problems with small print, reading and things like that. But then finally, they have trouble doing a lot of visual tasks. And
is there anything that we can do to prevent cataracts? If you have good eyesight now, how do we protect our eyesight?
Well, there really isn't. Cataracts are related to the aging process, and until we figure out to stop the aging process...
Let us know, would you?
It's interesting that I am a candidate also, not quite yet, but I will be having cataract surgery myself down the line.
Okay.
And I feel so comfortable about it. I was so going from that place of not having any knowledge to where I am now, and especially my time I have spent with the doctor here, I just feel completely confident about it. And
how long have you guys been working together? When did you decide to jump in and kind of be public about this?
Well, they were, Alcon wanted very much to start reaching out to people, and it is Cataract Awareness Month. So they wanted to put a big outreach program to really help people be aware. They have a website. It's called Cataract IQ, IEYE, and the letter Q.com. Okay. And you can, how we love to do all those little fun little quizzes on the internet.
Right.
Well, here's another one, and this is a really important one to be doing. And you can take that little test and find out what you do understand, what you do know, and find unbelievably in-depth information about what it is.
A lot of people are prideful, and they don't want to admit that they're getting old, that they might have a problem.
Right. And I think in that generation, we talked about that too. They're a generation that they kind of would grin and bear it. I mean, this is just part of getting old. This is, you know, you don't make a fuss.
Right.
And they come from that iron generation, you know, that we so admire. But it's a case where we need to suggest to them if we see something like that going on, because what happens is really today, it's not like old cataract surgeries and glasses and all the stuff that you had to do. Today, you can literally go in one day and 24 hours later, you can have the eyes that you had when you were a child.
That is so exciting. Well, I'm so glad you guys were here to share. And before we let you go, Cheryl, I've got to ask you about what you're working on. Of course, you have been active in this role, but we know that you are still doing acting. And I want to remind people of some of your titles. Chris Monroe was a big one, right, with Charlie's Angels. But I also know Grandma Fifi is a title that you're proud of.
Yes.
You've been an ambassador and also the voice of Josie and the Pussycats, one of the singers.